This morning, you stood in front of a mirror and put a synthetic bristle brush in your mouth. You didn't think about it. You didn't question it. It felt as automatic as breathing. But the real answer to where that habit came from is far stranger than a factory in the 1930s. Your teeth have been a battlefield for a very long time, long before enamel had a name, long before anyone knew what plaque even was. And the strange truth is this. Somewhere in a cold cave in northern Spain, a group of Neanderthals were already cleaning their teeth with tools they pulled from the forest floor. Does that surprise you? It surprised scientists too. In 2012, a researcher named Karen Hardy examined the calcified plaque on Neanderthal teeth recovered from a site called El Cedron. She wasn't looking for hygiene habits. She was looking for diet. What she found inside that ancient tartar was something nobody expected. Trapped in the calculus were fragments of chewed wood fibers and traces of medicinal plants, preserved for roughly 50,000 years. Your ancestors, or at least your evolutionary cousins, were putting plant material in their mouths on purpose, not just to eat, to manage what was happening between their teeth. Separate research on those same Neanderthal remains found something even more specific. A scientist named Almudena Stalrich identified narrow grooves worn into the sides of Neanderthal teeth, the kind of grooves that only form from repeatedly dragging a thin object across the same spot. Toothpick behavior, deliberate, repeated, almost ritual. A Neanderthal, alone in a cave, working a sliver of wood between two molars because something was stuck there and it was bothering him. That is not so different from what you do at a dinner table today. Fast forward to around 3500 BCE and the picture sharpens. In ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, people started using something historians now call the chew stick, a thin twig cut to about the length of your hand, with one end chewed and frayed until it separated into soft fibers. That frayed end worked almost like a natural brush. The other end stayed sharp, doubling as a pick. One tool, two functions, carried in a pouch or tucked into a belt. Here's the part that tends to catch people off guard. Some of those twigs came from a tree called Salvadora persica. Modern chemists have since discovered that its bark and wood naturally contain antibacterial compounds, along with trace amounts of silica and fluoride. Ancient people had no idea what fluoride was. They had no concept of bacteria. And yet somehow, through pure trial and observation, they picked the one tree in the landscape that happened to fight the exact organisms living in their mouths. How does a civilization stumble onto that without a microscope? Maybe it wasn't stumbling. Maybe it was just paying very close attention. That same chew stick, known today as the miswak, never actually disappeared. It's still used across parts of the Middle East and Africa right now in this century, alongside toothpaste and nylon bristles. Some dental researchers have found its cleaning performance comparable to a modern manual toothbrush, an idea nearly 5,000 years old, still functioning quietly in bathrooms today. But brushing was only half the problem. Ancient people also wanted their teeth to look and feel clean, the same way you want fresh breath before you speak to someone. So they built pastes. In ancient Egypt, tombs have turned up evidence of an abrasive tooth powder made from crushed pumice, mixed with substances like ox hoof ash and burnt eggshell. Rub that combination against enamel and it scrapes away buildup the same rough way modern whitening pastes do, just without the plastic tube. Then, in 2003, something remarkable surfaced in Vienna. Buried in a mass of ancient papyrus documents at Austria's National Library was a 4th century medical recipe, written in Greek, labeled as a powder for clean and perfect teeth. It listed rock salt, dried mint, a small amount of iris flower, and crushed pepper, all ground together into a fine powder. An Austrian dentist named Heinz Neumann decided to actually try it. He mixed the powder, applied it the way the papyrus described, and reported that his gums stung slightly and bled a bit, but that his mouth afterward felt distinctly clean and fresh. A formula written over 1,000 years before toothpaste existed as a commercial product, and it worked. Think about what that means. Somewhere in the 4th century, a person combined salt for abrasion, mint for freshness, and iris root, which modern lab analysis has since shown carries genuine antibacterial properties, into a single working formula. Nobody explained germ theory to them. Nobody handed them a textbook. They built something functional through generations of trial, failure, and quiet observation, then wrote it down so somebody else could use it too. Not everyone had access to a recipe like that,